All right. Um, this is going to be the video to try and answer the questions that I asked for a few days ago. Let's see, it was December 1st. So technically yesterday, but it was like early in the morning, so to me that's 2 days ago. Anyways, so I got some good questions here, and of course I got some bad questions too. I'm going to start down here at the bottom because I got this one guy here, John Murphy. John Murphy and I have had words several times already in comments on other videos, and we obviously differ on some important doctrines. And so he's not exactly my best friend or anything. Um, so I'm just going to make this short and sweet to you, John, because I know what your agenda is. All right, Jason, what flood is Peter speaking of here? This is in 2nd Peter, correct? 2nd Peter chapter 3? Or is it 2? Anyways, verse 5 and 6. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. Obviously, it's speaking of Noah's flood. Okay, the world that was being overflowed with water perished. That's obviously talking about Noah's flood. But I believe John Murphy's issue here is actually dealing with this stuff. The earth standing out of the water and in the water, which refers to how the earth was before the flood occurred, with the firmament, and it being as Kent Hovind would say, the canopy theory, that there was a bubble of ice, if you will, surrounding the earth, so that there was water below the earth in the subterranean chambers where a lot of the flood water came from, and then water also in outer space, the bubble of ice that was around the entire planet. And I get the feeling that John Murphy doesn't believe that either, if I remember vaguely correctly on one of our previous arguments. So thanks for the question, John. There's your answer. Noah's flood. I'm sure I'm going to get some response to that. YouTube is weird. I hit view reply and there's nothing there. So I don't understand why that happens. But okay. Sister Joy. And this is a good question. I like this one. So this is what I've been pondering. The Hebrew year, according to the Bible, is 5778. So we are 222 years from the 6,000 year or sixth day. It seems logical to me that the year 5999 is when the Lord would finish up with the world, and the sixth day would be the millennial reign. I'm all for it ending sooner, but I would really love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for this question. This is an honest question, and I love answering this kind of stuff, because she really wants to know a truth here, not just trying to push an agenda to argue with me. There is a difference. So, Sister Joy, I'm going to tell you this. The Hebrew year, according to the Bible, is 5778. I'm going to argue with that right there. How do you know that? I don't necessarily believe that's true. For all I know, this year is 5994. I don't know, 5996. We don't know what Hebrew year it really is. And if I've chased this rabbit years ago, and I never found a good answer because I found contradictory beliefs out there that of what the year is according to the Hebrew Bible. So I don't think we have really any way of knowing what year it actually is on the Hebrew calendar. I don't think it really matters anymore. I think we're supposed to not know. Because if we knew, that would make it easier to predict the rapture or whatever, you know. There is a verse that's in my mind about somebody, it's in Daniel, of changing times and seasons. And I think that potentially relates to the change of calendar that's happened over history. We're now on the Gregorian calendar, which is a derivative of the Julian calendar, and there was calendars before that. There was apparently, and this is a teaching that I remember from Chuck Missler. I don't really have researched evidence of my own on this, but I believe it's true. If somebody can prove it's false, then go ahead and teach me. I'll listen. But Chuck Missler teaches that in 701 BC, which is about the time of the Hezekiah sundial incident. I don't remember which chapter that is, but I'm sure you can find it. When the sundial went forward, or no, it went backwards. Instead of going forwards, it went backwards. And from that moment on, in 701 BC, all of the world's calendars changed. From a 360 day year to a 365.24 day year. So there have been things in human history that have screwed up the calendar. We don't really know what Hebrew year it is. I do believe that God is using this 6,000 year plan. We just don't know where we are in that calendar. So my advice to you is don't put stock in somebody's claim of what Hebrew year it is this year. We don't really know. You'll find more than one assertion out there. Some people will say it's 5778, and some people will say no, it's a different year number. I don't know what the other year numbers are this year. It doesn't matter. But I don't trust those. They're not found in the Bible, and that's kind of the key point there. In the King James Bible, there's nothing that says that this is that it's the year 5778. If you go through adding up all the genealogies and you came to that, I'd like to see that research, if it actually adds up to that. But even that, I mean, we don't know that God is specifically holding to a 6,000 year to the pinpointed day plan. We don't know that. We also don't know if the years that God's plan is working on are the original 360 day years, which I believe he would hold to that, actually, for reasons in Revelation where 42 months equals 1,260 days in Revelation 11, verses 2 and 3. So if God's still working on 360-day years, then, it adds more confusion to the calculation. Just don't try and calculate it. That's really all there is to it. All of the calculations are in attempt to know when he's coming back, and we don't know the day or the hour. We don't know. All we need to do is look for the signs. I believe the next imminent thing to happen will be the sixth seal earthquake and the meteor shower and a pole shift. The earth is literally going to flip upside down. I believe that's what Revelation 6 is describing. When that event happens, and it'll be unmistakable, that's when we'll know better of where we are in prophetic timeline. Sister Joy, I thank you for the question. Black Bull speaks. Okay. Why is Jesus Christ called the Son of Man? Technically, every human being, well, every male human being, is a son of man. Jesus is no different than that. He is also a son of man, because man is Adam. And every human being that has stemmed from Adam is a descendant of man. The word Adam actually means man. That is a literal transliteration of what that means there. So Jesus is called the Son of Man to point out that he is a man. Now, he's also the Son of God, which means he's also God. And I'm not going to get fully into that debate right now, just trying to answer this question. But he is called the Son of Man because he is Also, there is a passage in the New Testament somewhere that talks about, it's in Romans, I believe. I might be wrong. Where the first Adam brought sin into the world, and then the last Adam defeated sin, to paraphrase. That is Jesus being the Son of Man in that regard as well. So hopefully that answers your question just off the top of my head.